You're listening to Real Estate with Kevin Turner on News Talk 4BC.
Good morning and welcome. Nice to be with you. Saturday morning, I think we're in for a reasonably good day. We'll try and get some weather for you as the show goes on today to 8:09. And we're talking real estate for Calypso Bay, premier waterfront land from only $425,000. Visit calypsobay.com.au. My guest today is Adam Nobel from Space Property, and Adam's actually standing up in the studio. I've never had a guest who stands up. You're going to have to kneel down a bit to get to your microphone. But good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Kevin.
So you're just more comfortable. So if you want to get on the web, you can have a look at the webcam and you can see him standing up. I'm going to stay sitting down, I think. Adam Nobel specialises in property around the hotspots of West End, Highgate Hill and South Brisbane. Some pretty high turnovers in those areas. I know you sell in other areas as well, Adam, but do you specialise in those areas?
Yeah, that's correct.
So tell me a little bit about them.
Okay, so in my mind, West End, Highgate Hill, South Brisbane, I believe is the trendiest, most livable and most enjoyable lifestyle in Brisbane. It really offers something for everybody. So for families, we've got some of the best schools. We've got State High, which is a GPS school, which offers one of the best educations in Queensland without any private school fees. So we're finding that people move to the area to invest in their lifestyle and invest in a better home and not to sit in traffic while their kids get the best education. We're on the river in West End. We've got Goma, we've got South Bank, QPAC, everything right on our doorstep. Great cafes, the best coffee in Brisbane. Just a really nice place to live.
In recent times, though, Adam, along that stretch, there's been a lot of unit development as well, hasn't there? So, I mean, you're accommodating not only for families, but also for a lot of, I guess, a lot of renters, people who want to be in the area and just picking up on that lifestyle.
Yeah, that's right. And it has changed quite a bit in the last few years. So we're seeing now that 60% of the suburb is renters, whereas it was more around the 40% mark just a few years ago.
Right. Yeah. Well, given that's the case, and there's been a lot of talk about an oversupply of units, are you experiencing any of that?
Yes, we are. We are saying that there is an oversupply of units in more so in West End and South Brisbane than in Highgate Hill.
Yes.
But the stock has certainly increased. At the moment, there's 215 units for sale in West End, and there's 155 in South Brisbane. So the numbers are quite high, but it is offering great opportunities for buyers to get in while the prices are really quite affordable. Yeah,
we're going to hear from a little bit later in the show Dr. Andrew Wilson too from the Domain Group, who will be telling us that building approvals have actually slowed down a bit in Brisbane, particularly with Brisbane apartments. And I guess that's the end result of a lot of the talk about this. We're seeing developers, and you would have met a couple too, who've actually purchased sites and are now just land banking them, just holding them until the market eases up a bit. Are you seeing that too?
We are seeing it a little bit. There's one particular street in West End, which I won't name, that there are quite a few developments, and now there is one spot that is being land banked. It's just simply a matter of waiting for the supply and demand factors to equal out more, and then we'll see that the prices will rise again. So the people that are listening that have got a fear of missing out, they better get in quickly, because once all the properties are sold and as the population increases into those areas, then the developers will be able to charge whatever they like again.
What's happening with prices, though? I'm hearing some evidence in particular parts, not in your area especially, only because I haven't heard anything, but particularly on the north side, where people who purchased a unit maybe 18 months, 2 years ago, now looking at turning it over and finding that they can't even achieve the price they paid for it.
Yeah, I have heard of many cases of that happening. It's fortunately not happening in the area that I'm selling in. The prices are sort of holding around the same with some of those buildings, but there simply hasn't been growth in some of those areas, and that's simply what's occurred.
Have you got a feature property you can tell us about? Maybe a house or an apartment that you're looking at in that area that's worthy. Maybe one you go to open this weekend.
Yeah, I do. There's one actually that I'm selling. It's in Hardgrove Road in West End. So it's one of many cafe strips in West End. There's a bunch of restaurants there. Some are very famous throughout Brisbane. It's Unit 6 at 75 Hardgrove Road in West End. It's a one bedroom, but it has also a huge study area, which could also be a second living area. It's priced in the mid 300s, and the rent achievable is 400 to 450 quite easily for such a unit. It's positioned in an area that is in the middle of the hustle and bustle, but there's absolutely no noise. It's at the back of a complex that has views to Mount Cootha it just has a lot of X factor, I believe. It's got high ceilings, it's got a sunlight, it's just got a lot of beautiful features throughout the property that you don't see. So I think it's exceptional buying.
Is this a good time for someone to be out looking at property? I mean, I picked up the Courier Mail this morning and I noticed that the advertisements are way down, so obviously stock is harder to get. Is this a good time, or are you looking at a limited choice for buyers?
No, I think it's a great time to be buying.
Well, you'd say that as an agent. Every agent would say that.
Well, yeah, absolutely, I would. Of course, I would. But no, it is a good time because it depends what you're looking for and in what area. But if you're looking for a unit in the inner city, the prices are affordable now. And as I was saying before, once supply and demand factors equal out, the prices will rise again. There's no doubt, because the inner city is where people want to be. You don't want to be sitting in traffic. And there's just so many lifestyle factors for that. But what we're seeing, interestingly, in my area is that house prices just keep going up. They've been going up virtually 10% every year for the last few years. So it was a big thing in West End and Highgate Hill when the average sale price hit $1 million. Well, we've done the figures, we've added it up. It's now at 1.223 in West End for the last 12 months, and it's over 1.1 in Highgate Hill as well. So prices keep going up. So it's having an effect on the housing prices. The more these units come in, the higher the value of the land becomes as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you make. As apartments become more popular and we get more of them, the house and land become almost as scarce as hen's teeth, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and that pushes up the prices. Are you seeing that kind of price growth? You mentioned there 10%. Is that just for houses, or is that houses and apartments, or select apartments?
No, it's just for houses, yeah. So houses going up quite strong.
And what's happening in the apartment market?
The unit market, it took a little bit of a dip. We sort of had anywhere from 3 to 4 or 5% reductions. It seems to be plateauing now, though, and that's great.
Okay, right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in just a minute. I want to ask you a couple of things about, for those out looking to buy this weekend, we might look at some buyer tips. My guest is Adam Nobel. Adam is from Space Property, and if you want to join the conversation, 131 873 is the number. Love to have you call.